Hello, everybody. It is the me, GamePango21, and this is, I guess, like, take 3 of this rant. Oh boy. So, what are we talking about today? Well, this video was going to be completely different to what it was supposed to be, but overall, this is a blatant misuse and, well, illegal activity that Jay has done yet again. So, what exactly ended up happening? Well, again, originally this video was supposed to be on random PlayStation fanboys crashing out over the possibility of, well, PlayStation becoming third party, or at least pushing more towards third party. I wouldn't say that they're becoming third party as of right now, but they're pushing more towards a third party mentality. Of course, much like Xbox, how they did this gradually over time as well, I think that this will also be a very slow burn for PlayStation, and I think that it will be better for them as a business, but not for these fanboys. The fanboys want to keep the integrity of the brand, despite the fact that, keeping the integrity of the brand means that making the brand more accessible and more liked by more people, meaning that they want more people to like the brand. So expanding the audience to another platform kind of means that the brand is seen by more. Regardless of how you want to spin it, regardless of how you want to do it, this is probably the story that will basically replace that for right now. And why is that? Well, to be very specific and very honest, a strike happened to one Klutzy King. Now, Klutzy King is a commentary YouTuber, much like myself, much like how a lot of people know them. I don't know a lot of these guys personally. I would love to meet them, would love to, have a little bit of that pump in the viewership, to be quite honest with you. But I do stream about the same time as, I think a few other people, including Gara the Rage. I might talk about this also on the Sunday stream, or I might have talked about this, and this is the video that is kind of the result of me talking about it or something. But overall, I wanted to at least mention and talk about the whole system here, at least in a more recorded type fashion. And I actually ended up writing out an entire sort of script for this. It's a little bit hoity-toity here, but Jaytech, if you don't know who Jaytech is a older PlayStation fanboy who was covered way back in the day by people such as Rags and Kim Jong-un, as well as myself and several other people. I think even a few others did that. Don't mind the air conditioner in the background. Overall, he is the older PlayStation fanboy who's been on the platform for a number of years. The main thing that ended up happening to him, though, is that he apparently got bullied so much, or at least, well, not really bullied, but got called out so much that he inevitably decided to, just copyright strike people. And this isn't, again, the first time that he's done this. He's also done this to, again, Rags and Kim Jong-un, as I mentioned. Well, I didn't mention it before, but as stated before, those two that covered them also did the same thing. Now, this wouldn't be that bad in terms of, I guess, no, it's pretty bad. This wouldn't be that bad in terms of, I guess, news if it was, the first time. I mean, people would still get upset, and rightfully so. But this is, again, the third, fourth, or, fifth time that he's done this, unsure. And he's received 0 punishment. I also understand that he's done a number of other sort of practically illegal activities that he still has not been receiving any sort of repercussions for. Now, again, this is more a problem with YouTube as a whole, as these sort of false copyright claims have come down from stuff, and it also has to do with a problem that I also have with the, copyright system as well, because, well, a lot of my music ends up getting claimed all because it sounds similar to other EDM type music, and I might use some of the same loops and some of the same other stuff, but I still get copyright claimed, or at least I don't get claimed, but I still get copyright content ID'd, I guess, for using similar loops or similar beats and things like that. It is a very strange system, and quite honestly, to try to, make it a thing is making it a thing. But, by the way, my EP for this month that I said that I would release is now currently out on both Bandcamp and YouTube. Sorry about that, a little bit of a brain fart. Just kind of just woke up. You can kind of hear it in my voice. But let's go through some of the other stuff as to why Jay has done a lot of these other like extreme fanboy type things. See, so some of these are alleged, some of these are things we have enough evidence for, but here's what we ended up having. He did end up restreaming the FTC versus Xbox court case when that was a big thing. This is illegal, mind you. This was illegal and is illegal because they didn't want this case to be kind of streamed or to be broadcast to the public in any way, shape, or form. But Jay has done that. I think both Klutzy King and Gara also have evidence to support this. Go and chase them up if you really want to know more about that. I'm only really reporting on what I have here written down on my little sheet here. Of course, there's the standard slandering channels and bullying them with strikes, as stated before. This has been done a number of times, again, probably to smaller YouTubers as well, unsure if they're the case. It also seems to be very hypocritical in this case, as we'll get into in a little bit with, again, since I am personally slightly involved in this, which is quite interesting to be personally involved in something like this. Next up, we have sending illicit pictures in random DMs, and allegedly one of those was the devs of God of War, or at least God of War Ragnarok, asking for the release date of that. This has labeled him a number of pests type stuff. And again, these illicit pictures were, again, corroborated by a number of different sources from what I remember, but allegedly one of them was the devs of the God of War one. I don't know if this was specifically Jay, but I just know that the God of War devs, when they were trying to release the game initially, they got a lot of slander, or not really a lot of slander, a lot of DMs and stuff, people like begging and pleading for the release of it for one reason or another, being annoying about that whole thing. And lastly, we have being a hypocrite, as, again, he does live streams using a lot of copyrighted content, mainly for Sony games and Sony trailers, without really adding too much to the actual thing. He does a lot of streaming of that, and yet he's allowed to use all of those different ones without permission from the massive corporation that he simps for and sucks the dick of. Yet when it comes to his own content, when we use his videos, that means that, oh no, we have to now ask him specifically for his content. Buddy, you are talking about PlayStation. You use PlayStation's content in your live streams often. You talk about, say, the Game Awards, which is, again, the content that you are able to use, but you, I guess, add some stuff. You just restream the whole thing. Like, it's slightly different for, like, live stream type content, but when you're constantly playing a lot of the trailers and a lot of the games for, other things, it kind of sets a little bit of a strange precedent how you're able to react and talk about these sorts of situations. Again, it's just very strange how hypocritical it is. And speaking more on the hypocritical part of this, the weirdest part is that I have actually not received a copyright strike for this exact same context. So let me explain as to why. The main thing here that we can corroborate from the few screenshots that I have is that Klutzy put out a community post where he added Jaytech and added YouTube, talking about how it is both illegal and petty to have a copyright strike over a video that is over about 2 to 3-ish years old at this point. Now, what happened about 2 to 3 years ago? Well, Klutzy ended up talking about how Jaytech, the video title for it has Jaytech thinks GameStop proves that Xbox has no games, with the YouTube doing that, with the content used being GameStop said Xbox has no games. Now, I don't remember specifically the context of the video, but from what the video has been described to me, it sounds very similar to a video I also covered about 2.5 years ago. I'm not going to pull it up here for the sake of it, but I know that I remember seeing a video of Jaytech walking into a GameStop and trying to discuss why that GameStop didn't have any games of Xbox, therefore Xbox has no games. Now, again, you're going to have to kind of trust me on this, as I do know I have it on the channel. You can probably find it somewhere. If you search up Jaytech on the channel, I'm fairly certain you can find it pretty easily. But I remember this video, and I remember covering this video, and we can again corroborate that this is Jaytech actually filing this claim, not just from Klutzy's email, but also from JayTech's official Twitter himself, where he actually added YouTube and showed off the actual removal request processing. This is a full-on copyright strike and a full-on abuse of this, to the point of where other videos have obviously come out. Joe from Seattle has made one. I know that Gara has made one. He got very angry. the editor, Josh, the editor, has also come up with one, as well as Klutzy obviously came up one as me recording this one, and I also saw one that Sneaky Cacti did, and now I'm making one currently as well, because this is fucking annoying. Not for just the sake of the obvious abuse of the copyright system, but the fact that it just seems to not be in any way, shape, or form consistent. Because if he had that, going to that, and again, I haven't checked my emails yet, but at the time of me recording this, I've checked my emails, and maybe with this video I'm putting another thing on my back, but at the same time, like, I've covered this content as well, and I talked about this content as well, and yet I have received no strike or no nothing from from Mr. JaytechTV himself, probably because I'm very small and ended up not doing about it. It's just really weird. I'll keep you posted if anything about that changes. Now, the main question that I think a lot of people have is why. This video is, again, 2 to 3 years old at this point, and obviously is not being consistent, as number one, Klutzy wasn't the only one that I think covered this. I think, again, I covered this as well, and maybe a couple other people that I remember off the top of my head. But overall, why is it that he's doing this? Well, a lot of people have been throwing around the idea that JaytechTV is just basically having a temper tantrum because of the fact that Sony is now more pushing for more third-party or more of a publisher-type role in the gaming space, where that seems to be the case. It seems to be the case, but like at the same time, it's more of an alleged thing at this point. I would say personally that while that might be a factor, I also just think that since, Jay just has a history of this, that he just thought that this would be a good idea because, again, at the same time, he likes to denounce some of his critics or whatever, and it's just really fucking dumb and stupid, and I hate this and Jay would probably completely lose in court because of how fair use kind of works. But here's the thing that I will say lastly before I wrap up this video. YouTube, if you happen to see this, can you please stop this shit from happening? Like, holy crap. At least add some sort of punishment to people who falsely use this copyright system. And I hate this system, and I think everyone hates this system because it basically does the same thing that is guilty until proven innocent. What do I mean by this? Well, guilty until proven innocent basically means that if the person files a claim against you, you now have to prove that you're innocent rather than them having to prove that you're at fault here. I mean, again, this is the reason why, at least in American court systems, and the majority of court systems, I think throughout the international world, it depends on the country, you have to take a look at your own laws there, but basically, if you have a guilty until proven innocent type system of your government or system of court, it sucks because then the defendant has to do like exponentially more work to try to prove their side rather than the other person who is the plaintiff usually having to try to prove the fault in question. It's very dumb, very stupid, and very annoying on all fronts. So YouTube, please either implement some sort of repercussions if it is proven wrong, or if the person doesn't reply or anything like that, just make some repercussions for repeat offenders like JaytechTV and like other people on this platform, so that way people do not fucking get screwed over. Especially with the fact that this is not the first time that like these sort of copyright things have happened. A few weeks ago, I remember seeing another story that wasn't for JaytechTV, but was for more a publishing company of music, with that being for Deltarune chapters, I think 3 and 4. All of that music ended up getting claimed because the publisher just wanted more money. For that reason. It was very dumb, it was very stupid, and it is still very dumb and very stupid, and it's annoying as fuck. Please, YouTube, try to either, like, improve the bot, which fucking won't help, but make it, what will help is people trying to actually fucking get some repercussions if they abuse the DMCA system. It's really dumb, it's really stupid, and while everyone else is calling for Jay's removal from the platform, and I wouldn't be against it, I at least would like to see some repercussions that JaytechTV has, because this is unacceptable. And that's all that I have to say on this. If you like what it is that I do, support me any other way, shape, or form, other than like and subscribe, which is always enough. Links down to everything in the description below. My name is GamePang21, and a peace off.
Hey man, can I I did a favor. Yeah, sure, I know